Okay, so this is question 14 on the 2021 Pure Paper 1. It's a quotient rule question. So we recognise that we're being asked to differentiate something that's one function divided by another. It's not two things over one thing, so I can't separate it. So I'm going to use quotient rule. Now that is actually on the formula sheet in a slightly different form. I just always remember it like this, but you have to set up your windows. So the thing that's on top is our u, and the thing that's underneath is our v, and so because I know I'm going to have to differentiate it, I've rewritten it as 2 plus x to the half. We then differentiate both those things, so this becomes 1, this, the 2 disappears, and this becomes a half x to the minus a half, which is the same as 1 over 2 root x. Because the quotient rule also involves v squared, I've done that squared, so I've rewritten it in its surd form and gridded it out. You get 4 plus 4 root x plus x. Okay, so let's plug all that in. Doesn't look very pretty, does it? So v du by dx, so that's that times 1, so I chose to write it back in surd form, minus u dv by dx, that multiplied by that, so I'm choosing to just write that as that over that. Hopefully you're happy with that. Divided by v squared, which we've just said, we'll grid it out. Where do we go from here? Well, I'm going to go with a common denominator up top. So at the moment, this has a denominator of 1. So I'm just going to multiply the top and the bottom of that numerator by 2 root x. Denominator stays the same. So if I look at what I've got here, if I multiply out that bracket, just have to move my camera down a bit, I've got 2 times 2 root x, which is 4 root x. Sorry, I've been rubbing out. And I've got root x times 2 root x. Well, root x times root x is x, so that gives me 2x. I've also got, I had that big alarm bell ringing by the fact that was minus all of that. So that's minus x plus 4. That's all over the common denominator. And don't forget, the proper denominator is there all along. Now, what I've effectively got here is this fraction divided by this fraction. 4 plus 4 root x plus x is 4 plus 4 root x plus x over 1. So I'm going to turn this into a fraction multiplication sum. So I've got that fraction multiplied by that fraction flipped over. And I hope you can see what happens here. These two things are the same, so they cancel out. So we get this rather sort of pleasing end. That the answer is 1 plus 2 root x, and that follows the form that they want. Certainly a tricky question, but yet again we find that the common denominator approach is really fruitful, and that's one that's worth remembering in a number of different scenarios. Hope that's okay.